Alrighty then, Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus episode 840, Terms of Service. We're all aware of contracts and stuff. Do you read the terms of service? You don't have to read it all, but you really should, especially when it affects your livelihood. As authors, we really want to read those terms of service when we're giving up and licensing rights. So first thing you look for is, what are you giving up? And this is what they're contracting for. License to right of first refusal on future titles, something that you should look at very closely before giving away future rights, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that unless there's very specific language, like once you make a proposal, they have 1 month to respond, so you're not sitting in limbo forever, where they can respond, hey, we have right of first refusal and we're still contemplating this. So they tie up a book for years and don't let you publish it. That's unacceptable. Don't do that. So what are you giving up? What are you licensing very specifically? And what are you getting in return? I would hope remuneration. They're paying you to do this thing. They're going to do this thing for you. They're going to take a cut. You're going to get this kind of money back. Have a nice day. You both win. And here's what else they're doing to make sure that this title or whatever they're licensing is productive for both of you. Because if they don't make money, then you don't make money because they're not making any sales. So pay attention. What are you giving up? One thing that you want to make sure is never in there is revocability, that it's not irrevocable, that once you license it, you're stuck forever. That is completely and wholly unacceptable. You should never, ever sign a contract that is irrevocable. That's wrong. That's just wrong. And other elements, especially if that irrevocable clause comes before things like derivative rights. Derivative rights is any secondary product made from your original product. So that could be a line of toys, that could be a comic strip, it's a whole litany of stuff that they can make from your title. You want to control derivative rights, or at least get exactly the same cut on your licensing, and maybe even have approval authority through your moral rights for those secondary products. So what about training AI? Do you want your titles to be used for that or not? You can put that in the contract, not to be used to train AI, not to be used for this. You can say what, but you can also say what you don't want. I don't want this. I don't want comic strips made of my book for whatever reason. Doesn't matter why. It just matters that it's in the contract, because then it's enforceable. Now, look at what the enforceability looks like. Is it arbitration? Do you have to go to arbitration? Are your rights for a class action suit removed? And most of the big companies will remove that, force you to go to arbitration, arbitrator of their choice, loser pays, that kind of thing. It's not good if you have to sue, but if everything is down correctly in the contract, then it's more likely that they will adhere to that. But if there's open-ended ambiguity in your contract, then you may be punished by the big corporation. You can sue them and you're going to lose, and it's really going to be expensive. Make sure that contract is correct, especially if you're talking a highly profitable property, like the next big thing, the next great American novel. All of a sudden, it's yours, and now people are exploiting the hell out of it because you licensed it on a wide open contract because it was cool at the time. But after making $10 million for your publisher and $100,000 for you, it's not cool anymore. So make sure you get it right at the outset. Remedies. What is the cost of failure? What if you license this product and they don't publish it? They don't ever go to print with it. They don't ever make the audiobook, whatever you licensed. Then what are your rights in regards to what you can do about it? If not published by this date, this contract is canceled. Hey, that's a good thing to put in there. Survivorship. What happens if you pass away? Does the contract still be enforced? I would hope so, because I want my heirs to get any kind of royalties from my products. And what about severability? If one element, one clause within the contract is determined to be illegal or unenforceable, then what happens to the rest of the contract? That's what severability. It severs that one clause, but it keeps the remainder of the contract in force. So those are the things you want to look for. You want to look for a remedy. You want to look for a timeline. Can you cancel this contract? What's it take? Okay, there's steps in there. It needs to be 90 days, whatever. Just as long as you can do something to cancel the contract if you find it unacceptable in its actual execution and not what you thought you were getting. There's always a difference between what you think you're getting and what you actually get under a contract. However, close enough. Courts deal with that all the time. So you want to be narrow in what your contract defines. And then you want to make sure that whoever is doing the licensing complies, that they do what they're saying they're going to do, or cut those ties and start over. All right. Hopefully that helps. Peace, fellow humans.